Ever notice how some of the smartest, most successful men completely fall apart when it comes to women? The entrepreneur who built a thriving business can't get a second date. The engineer who solved complex problems daily can't figure out why she stopped texting back. The doctor who saves lives somehow kills attraction without realizing it. Today, we're breaking down the 9 biggest mistakes smart men make with women, the subtle patterns that happen because of intelligence, not in spite of it. If you recognize yourself here, don't worry. Awareness is the first step to change. By the end, you'll understand exactly how your brain might be working against you and what to do instead. Let's dive in. Mistake 1. Overanalyzing everything. Smart men treat attraction like a puzzle to be solved instead of an experience to be felt. On a date, instead of being present, your brain is running diagnostics. Did that joke land? Should I have said something else? What does it mean that she touched her hair? You're analyzing while she's connecting, and women feel that. That in your head, energy makes things feel forced instead of fun. Attraction thrives on presence and spontaneity, not analysis. Use your brain to learn patterns, not to micromanage the moment. Think of it like dancing. Study the moves beforehand. But when the music starts, stop thinking and just move. Mistake 2. Trying to logic your way into attraction. You can't reason someone into feeling chemistry. Smart men love logic. It wins arguments, earns promotions, solves problems. But attraction isn't logical. You might try to prove your worth by listing achievements, explaining why you're a great catch, or rationalizing her emotions. But that's not how attraction works. Attraction happens emotionally, not intellectually. When you try to convince someone to like you, you communicate lower value. High-value men don't need to explain why they are valuable. It's obvious. Stop trying to make her understand you're attractive. Focus on making her feel it. Mistake 3. Seeking intellectual validation. You're used to being admired for your mind, so you try to recreate that dynamic with women. You steer conversations toward intellectual topics, show off your knowledge, or test her intelligence. But while mental chemistry is great later on, it's not what creates initial attraction. When you make it all about ideas, you lose the emotional and physical spark. It starts to feel like a job interview, not a date. Save the deep philosophical debates for when attraction is already established. Early on, focus on creating emotional connection, laughter, tension, playfulness, eye contact. That's what builds attraction. Mistake 4. Perfectionism and overplanning. You want every move to be flawless. You wait for the perfect moment, the perfect line, the perfect timing, and as a result, you do nothing. Perfectionism creates paralysis. Meanwhile, less analytical guys are out there taking action, learning, and improving. Dating is messy. You'll make mistakes. That's part of learning. Stop trying to be perfect. Be present. Set a rule. Act within 5 seconds of having an impulse before your mind talks you out of it. Mistake 5. Being too available. Logic says, if you're free Tuesday and she's free Tuesday, go out Tuesday. But attraction doesn't work on logic. It works on perceived value. When you're always available, always accommodating, it signals that your time isn't valuable. Even if you are busy and accomplished, saying yes too easily can communicate neediness. Don't play games. Just build a life that genuinely fills your time. When your schedule is full and your priorities are solid, scarcity happens naturally, and attraction grows. Mistake 6. Not escalating physically. Smart men often overthink physical attraction. You're enjoying the date, there's chemistry, but you hesitate, waiting for absolute clarity before making a move. You worry about being inappropriate, so you do nothing. The date ends with an awkward hug, and she leaves wondering if you even liked her. Confidence isn't about rushing physicality. It's about leading calmly and respectfully. Start small, light touches, proximity, genuine compliments. Pay attention to her responses. If she leans in or reciprocates, continue gradually. Attraction grows through calibrated action, not endless waiting. Mistake 7. Explaining instead of creating mystery. Smart men love clarity and detail, but in dating, too much explanation kills intrigue. You don't need to give your full resume or life story in response to a simple question. Mystery is magnetic. It makes her curious to learn more. Give hints instead of essays. Let her wonder a little. Discovery builds emotional investment. Authenticity doesn't mean full disclosure. It means being real while letting her uncover you over time. Mistake 8. Treating her like one of the guys. What works with your male friends, bluntness, logic, teasing, doesn't always work with women. Men bond through competition and problem solving. Women bond through emotional connection and empathy. If you respond to feelings with logic or treat banter like a contest, it can make you seem distant or dismissive. Learn social calibration, adjusting your tone, energy, and empathy to the person and situation. You don't need to fake anything. Just recognize that romantic communication is different from friendship communication. Mistake 9. Overthinking afterward. The date ends, and your brain starts to replay reel. What did that text mean? Should I message now or wait? Did I talk too much about work? Overanalysis creates anxiety and delays. You end up either texting too late or over-editing your message. Here's a fix. Do a quick 2-minute reflection. Note one thing that went well and one thing to improve. Then move on. If you liked her, text her. Be direct, be simple, and stop trying to craft the perfect line. Final thoughts. Your intelligence is an asset, but only when used strategically. The key is knowing when to think and when to feel, when to analyze and when to act. Stop letting your brilliance sabotage your attraction. Use it to grow your awareness, not to overcomplicate connection. If this video gave you new insights, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment with a mistake that hit home the most, and share this with another smart guy who needs to hear it. Remember, attraction isn't about being perfect. It's about being real, present, and human.